Greetings and welcome to another edition of Political Empire. I'm your host, Kim Pearsall with the Press Enterprise and PE.com. We're going to be talking about how a real estate group doesn't like a plan that's happening in San Bernardino County. And we're also going to talk about the 67th Assembly race. That's the district that covers Southwest Riverside County, who's running and what's going on there. So first, the real estate refusal. The California Realtors Association, surprise, surprise, doesn't like a proposed plan in San Bernardino County for a joint public agency to use eminent domain to seize underwater mortgages. The group said as much in an emphatic thumbs down vote at a recent meeting after they heard from proponents of the plan. So now we are lucky enough to have Jim Miller, our Sacramento correspondent, on the line, who is going to talk to us about the 67th Assembly race. It pits two Republicans against each other for this Southwest Riverside district. Jim, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, sure thing. Good afternoon.
Tell us a little bit about who is running and what this district actually is.
Sure. This is the 67th Assembly District. It kind of wraps from the outskirts of City of Riverside down to Marietta along the 15 and then over to Hemet. Looks a little bit like a starfish. It's the county's, and the thing that makes it kind of unique, it's the county's only top two contest where the top finishers, This race in June had all Republicans on the ballot, and so it's two Republicans who are in the runoff next month.
And we've seen this before in other races. So who are the Republicans in this case who are running against each other?
Sure. This is Melissa Melendez, who is a member of the City Council down in Lake Elsinore, and then Phil Pauley, who sits on the Eastern Municipal Water Board. He's also a district aide to Congressman Del Isa.
Any particular issues that they're focusing on so far?
Leading up to the June primary, it was fairly typical issues for a Republican primary contest. A lot of talk about not raising taxes, a lot of talk about concerns about government overspending, things that are fairly typical for a Republican primary. And I think both would say that just ideologically, there's maybe not a whole lot of daylight between the two. Maybe more a matter of style and basis of support that separate the two.
And going back to the primary too, who bested the other in that primary race? Who had the lead, and does that lead still exist?
Well, yeah. There were 5 Republicans on the ballot. Phil Pauley finished first, followed by, and then second place was Councilwoman Melendez by about 4 percentage points behind Phil Pauley. Roughly 1,800 votes. Her base of support, maybe not surprisingly, was in and around Lake Elsinore. Pauley did better in other parts of the district than her. So, there are a couple of campaign polls that have been floating around, but nothing really hard and fast about who is favored. And the interesting thing, too, is that both have fairly comparable. They've both been relatively equally successful in terms of fundraising, and they're spending about the same amounts of money. So far, there's no real independent expenditures in this contest leading up to November. There was some back in June, but so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out first next month.
True. Well, it sounds like it might be a close race in this starfish-shaped district. I enjoyed that description. Jim, thanks so much for the update on the 67th Assembly District, and thanks to you for watching yet another edition of Political Empire. We'll see you tomorrow.